Podaka guy here. We are in Blair, Nevada, the ghost town of Blair, Nevada. I'll walk forward a little bit here. You can see one of the buildings behind me. I just went through that little building, not a lot left. So Blair was a mining town, like most little ghost towns in Nevada. I was just reading the sign down the road a little ways. Let me flip to the forward camera. I was just reading the sign down a ways, and this town had a 100 stamp mill, which is quite large for a mine like this. So I believe it said the last people were in the late 20s that the last residents were here in this town. The mine kind of dried up. Here's something you always see at mines, the old can dump. There's old rusty cans. Looks like maybe a piece of a stove. A lot of old debris. It's all over the washes here. I'm not sure what this was. I'm thinking it possibly may have been a school. There's steps here in the front, and there's a basement in it. I'll take you guys through it here. Here's the front steps. Has a big chimney over there. Yeah, really cool. Okay, we're gonna walk back this way. We'll go inside. I'll kind of show you around inside a little bit. Here's the basement. You can still see some of the original wood embedded in the concrete. Framing around the window, that's pretty cool. There's a little bit of graffiti here, but not a ton, which is awesome to see. Yeah, it's really picturesque here. Hopefully the wind's not too bad. It's blowing pretty good today. I've got the old dead cat on the microphone, so hopefully that'll help. Here's another one of the rooms. These are really the only two buildings that are left standing. And then what's left of the mill structure. So we're going to head up to the mill here in a minute and check that out. Yeah, pretty cool. So we'll probably camp here tonight and walk around up by the mill, see what we can find, maybe do a little night photography or maybe a little time lapse with the clouds going by. So we'll just kind of see how it goes. So kind of walk around the front here, go down these steps. Show you this side of the building. Really picturesque up here. This is a pretty cool ghost town. A lot of debris, a lot of stuff to explore. You can see out there all the glistening. There's just old rusty tin cans. There's a little jug of some sort. Looks like a sardine can. Pieces of pottery, pieces of glass. It's all over the place out there, so looks really cool. A lot to explore here. It was raining pretty good earlier today, but it's absolutely gorgeous now. Well, we'll head up to the mill site and see you in a minute. Hopefully you can hear me. It's super windy out. We've got a storm coming in, and we are currently on top of a mountain. Let me flip it around here for you. We are currently in the ghost town of Blair, Nevada. We're at the old mill site right now. We drove up this mountain over there. You can see the Sprinter parked over there. We've got a kind of a storm coming in behind us. I am standing on the foundation of an old tank. There's a couple tank foundations up here. Most of these old mills were cyanide milled, so the old stamping mill, I'll show you that in a minute, but the stamps were down there. This is a big mill site. It had 100 stamps. You can see all kinds of tank foundations down there in the distance. Let me zoom in for you. There they are down there. And we've got a dump site over here with barrels. Those could have been the old cyanide barrels. Not sure. The ghost town of Blair, what's left of it, is right over there. We were over there just a little while ago. I'll zoom in for you. That's what we were over exploring just a little bit ago. These storms and the clouds and the sun popping through, it's just absolutely incredible out here. The views are awesome. So yeah, let's take a little tour of the mine site. Like you can see where all the bolts were in the concrete at one point that held the edge of the tank on. Where the tank was bolted down, you can see rows of bolts. Where the old metal foundation of the frame was bolted to these concrete bases. Here's another tank base over here. Foundation. We've got some kind of a building over here. You can see I'm doing a time lapse of the clouds. I've got my Insta 360 going, so it's probably going to pick us up walking through the shot here, but that's okay. We'll go around this side of the building, get out of the wind a little bit, show you in here. Let me put it on wide angle. Lots of graffiti. There's 1935, 1967, 1923, 1966. There's dates all over the place in here. Another 1927. Man, what a view. Look at that out there. Pretty incredible. So we'll continue walking down over this way. Here's another foundation for a tank. Then there's a whole pile of old wire rope over there. Fairly large wire rope. Here's another look at this foundation here. Look at that scenery. So hopefully the audio is coming out okay. Looks like this is cake that came out of that tank right there, sediment. Who knows what kind of nasty stuff that has in it. I'm not going to go digging around in that, that's for sure. Now we're starting to get down here to the stamp mill. So these mills are built on a hill to use gravity, so they, as they go through the stamps, gravity will take it downhill. Eventually it'll go all the way down to the settling ponds where the cyanide's at and separate the gold out. Here's the wire rope. You can see how big it is. That's a good size wire rope right there. Foundations for other equipment. Still has some boards there on top of the bolts. And this is the mill right here. So this is where the 100 stamps would have been mounted. All right, a little calmer down here. You can still see some wood here mounted in place. Pretty cool. Would have loved to see this back in the day when it was in operation with all the equipment here. Would have been a really cool sight. I imagine it was one noisy place to work, especially with the lack of hearing protection back in the day. Probably a lot of people with hearing damage over the years. There's another foundation right here. So I imagine there used to be a building that kind of came up and over to house all these mills or all these stamps. Let's go back this way so we can go down. Drop down another level here. Not sure what this pit was. If this was a collection pit. Does not have any through holes there. So not sure, maybe there was a giant flywheel right here. Could have been dished out for a huge flywheel running the stamp mills. Okay, let's watch what I'm doing here since I'm filming and walking, climbing with one hand basically. There's a foundation for an old post that used to be there, some kind of support. And look at this, man, just goes on and on. Lots of metal material. There again, there's a bunch of sediment cake or whatever it was that came out of the mill or out of those settling tanks. Let's see if we can scramble down this way a little bit without cutting ourselves or ending up on our butt. Yeah, look at all the debris. Lots of pieces of metal and tin, cans. I always look for lead cans to see if there's any lead sealed cans. Oh, this one's through on both sides. There's the head of a bolt. Pretty cool. Held some large piece of equipment at one time. Just a massive debris field. There's some kind of underground entrance over there. We might work our way down there and check that out. Looks like these are more settling tank foundations down here. So I imagine after it was crushed up here by the stamp mills, it would gravity feed down to these settling tanks. It's fun walking and not trying to kill yourself on sharp metal. Loose shale. Pretty sure there's a storm coming in. It's looking pretty dark back that direction, so hopefully I can finish filming this and get back to the van before it gets too wet, but we shall see. I think I'm going to camp here for the night, find a flat spot or level spot up there somewhere. So I had to go through, let me flip it, had to go through a bunch of dry washes coming up, so if we get a hard rain, probably going to be water running through those washes. So there's a good chance that I will not drive out if there's rushing water. We'll just hang out here and wait for that to pass, but hopefully it's not going to rain that hard and it'll pass through. I think it's supposed to be sunny and warmer and dry tomorrow, so we should be good. Yep, more settling tank foundations down here. We'll check that out in just a second. Let's walk over this way and see what's over this way. Some kind of equipment was mounted there at one time. Looks like I could probably drive into here with all this debris. You never know with the metal and sharp wire rods. Kind of sounds like a flat tire waiting to happen. So here's more bases here. Some kind of equipment was mounted there at one time. You can see they cut a road in through that hillside right there. Looks like it might be passable. You're definitely going to need high clearance. Looking at it from the top down there, looks like there's quite a few rock cave-ins. This is that pit that we've seen from up top. Definitely does not go down into the ground, at least not this one. Looks like some kind of chimney setup. Bunch of old tin in there. Wire ropes. Turn back around and see a little better overall shot. Let's walk back this way. I always wonder what this looked like. You can see all those little ridges, so there was boards more than likely in there. Some kind of a base right here. Who knows what kind of equipment? Whereas, was it generators? Was it pulleys? Winches? Not sure. Lots of scrap metal. Made a little gobbing wall here. These boards here almost look like train tracks. The way those are laid out. There's only 2 of them though. Looks like a rail could have been mounted on those one time. Maybe this was a railway coming in. And it wouldn't be a desert, abandoned desert, without some kind of graffiti. Definitely have a little graffiti action there. Yeah, pretty cool. Let's check out over here and then we'll walk back up and check those settling tanks out. There was some kind of a chute that ran here. You can see it right there, the edges of it. Big coils of rope again. More settling tank bases. Large debris field. A lot of drums. A lot of metal. There's a big pipe coming out, so maybe when they drain the sediment out of those, it would just flow down here maybe, not sure. Some more gobbing right here. Not sure if they had a road down through here or not. Pretty cool. Not sure where the mines are located, probably up in the hills right above us somewhere. Okay, we're gonna head back up. There's a little hole in the sand going down there. Several of them. Anytime you're exploring around here, you got to be very careful where you're walking. I'm not sure what this is. It's porcelain. Looks like some kind of insulator maybe. Pretty cool. So another thing, when you're doing this kind of stuff, it's super fun to explore. Just don't take anything. If everybody took an item home, there wouldn't be anything else for anybody else to see years later. So just enjoy it, take pictures and memories, and leave everything where you found it. Look at this old beam here. That's pretty cool. Pretty neat. There's the settling pond bases. Got another gobbing wall there. Pretty cool. Okay, let's walk over here and check out these settling tank bases. It's a pretty big room right here. Had some kind of equipment mounted here. Here's so these bases would have the tank would sit on top of here. It would have a drain. Here's one of the bottom ports, so they could drain it out. There's several ports. You can see a trough over there where it would drop down. I'm not sure if they would run the cyanide or whatever they were doing here through it for a certain amount of time, and then drain the solution down into the further tanks to further refine it, possibly. Another pretty cool, look at all those rocks that people's thrown onto that board there trying to get it to break. Don't do that. It's pretty neat seeing it in place. Very cool. Well, let's go up one level again and we'll take a look inside that, see what's down there. I'm going to take a picture and then we'll be right back. Pretty cool belting here. Look how they have these basically like giant steel staples holding these belts together. It's pretty cool. Man, what a beautiful day. Absolutely gorgeous out. Looks like some more material out of the bottom one of these tanks. Pretty cool gobbing wall there. Okay, let's do a little climbing and see what's up on top. I could check these sites out all day long. Absolutely love Nevada. Nevada is full of these abandoned mines and ghost towns and mill sites. So much to explore. That's a beautiful, beautiful picture right there. Okay. So I imagine this is hollow underneath us, so probably need to be a little cautious where we step. Let's see what's inside this box. Nothing in here. It's pretty fortified though. Walk over here. Another settling tank. There's that building that we seen came from way up there. Really, really cool. Look at all the debris. There's just debris everywhere. Who knows what kind of nasty stuff is in this dirt. I don't think I'd be taking any of this home with me, that's for sure. See how it changed all of a sudden? Now it looks kind of muddy and clay. You can see some pipes coming out right there. I imagine this is the discharge from a tank up top. Same with that right there. Huge buildup. Looks like an old chimney down there. Just can't get over that amazing view. Absolutely incredible. This is fun stuff. Gonna do a little grinding back uphill here in a second. Don't see any fresh footprints around here. So it doesn't look like anybody's been here in a while. Or at least not walking where I'm walking. Go around here and take another shot. That's a pretty cool shot there. Let me flip it around. Looking down all the settling tanks. Really cool. You just see my van up there. Play Where's Waldo with the van. Now we've got to scale back up this thing. So let's see if we can figure out a way up on this side. Looks like there's a little trough right over here where this metal's at. So let's go up here and see if we can work our way back up. It's in the high 50s right now, so it's a perfect day for scrambling up around this stuff. There's some big plate riveted. There's some old steel, riveted steel there. Not sure if that was a chute. Almost looks like this was a conical drum, the way that this is shaped. And you can see that little scoop mounted on an angle and all those other holes. I imagine those scoops were all the way around. It was some kind of a separation device, possibly. Look at all these barrel hoops. Here's an old tin can. Let me go to a wide angle here. Yep. Maybe fuel, kerosene, oil maybe. Not sure. Let's see what else we can find up here. We're going to go right up this draw with the rocks here. These larger rocks will offer a lot better foothold than the shale. Oh yeah. Right up the hill. Yep, this is definitely sediment out of one of those tanks. So there's Look at that board right there. Perfect step. Try not to crawl in that stuff any more than I need to. So yeah, 3 more settling tanks here. See a pipe coming out of the ground. Several pipes, another foundation, tank bases. Go back to a wide angle. Pretty cool. Get a quick selfie here. Let me reach up and take a picture. There we go. Pretty awesome. We'll continue our tour over this way. Try to walk on the concrete here if I can. This is a large mill. 100 stamp mill is a good sized mill. I'd like to know what I'll have to look it up, see what the production was when this thing was at its peak. Let's climb back up. Oh, felt a drop of rain. See if we can get back to the van before it starts pouring on us. Now we've got to scramble up this mess. Let me go to wide angle here. Lots of debris. Looks like a sardine can, possibly. Haven't seen any Prince Albert cans yet. Usually you see some old rusty Prince Albert cans laying around. Look at that. Still has the key on it. That's pretty cool. Yeah, another one. So we should be about to the stamp mills again. Maybe we'll work our way down the stamp mills. Pretty cool. There we go. Now we can walk down this way, not fall into these big crevasses. I'm thinking these are a flywheel. So how those are curved like that, big flywheels could sit in here. You can see the mounts, probably a pillow block bearing to support the shaft. And then this would be your stamp mills along this front edge, I think. Breathing a little hard coming up that hill. I'm out of shape, need to do this more. Pretty cool, look at that. There's the old ghost town down there again. That was pretty cool. That's a pretty neat old building down there. I'd like to have seen all the buildings back in the day. Driving up here, there's all kinds of foundations out in there. You can see little rock foundations where buildings used to be. I see they've got that little area right there, whoops, right down there, fenced off, a little square. Not sure what's in that. Always makes you curious when you see a fenced off area, especially out this far. Let's see, I'm going to go up this direction. Okay. I'm going to walk on this side. The penalty for failure is a little less. Instead of jumping deep crevasses out here by myself, there's another pipe going down. Looks like you can see it sticking out on the other end down there. Pretty cool. Not sure what that used to be. Yeah, this is one big mill. I'll have to do a little looking on the internet and see if I can find a picture of this mill. Maybe the picture exists of what it used to look like when it was in operation. That'd be really cool to see. Look at that wood down there. That metal still has some of the wood left in it. Pretty cool. Yeah, so we'll walk our way around the side here. There's a little gobbing road right there. You can see the van parked at the start of it. And that's pretty much the mill site for Blair Ghost Town in Nevada. Really cool. So we've got some more ghost towns to explore. I'll probably do a little more exploring here. Maybe we can find a mine or something while we're up in here looking around, but who knows? If I find anything else cool, I'll come back and film it. I'll see you soon.